fund the government to reopen it. It's now a tie with the previous longest closure.
The December 2018 to January 2019 shutdown during President Trump's first administration ended on day 35, so it seems pretty likely this one will surpass that and take the title. On this day 35, air transportation is edging toward chaos with Thanksgiving looming. People whose SNAP food assistance didn't come are crowding food banks, and so much more. And like a tied score, there are no winners. Michael Toscano, CBS News, Washington.
A pair of downtown Milwaukee buildings could soon become harder for their owner to demolish.
Alderman Bob Bauman aims to designate the UWM Panther Arena and Miller High Life Theater as historic properties. Bauman says the designation would loop the public into any future development plans on the land the buildings occupy.
The public should be allowed to weigh in a transparent, open process.
Attorney Josh Levi, representing the Wisconsin Center District, which owns the buildings, questions the timing of the proposal.
It seems like there's no urgent need unless the need is to interrupt development.
The plan would need full Common Council approval to become reality. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
One person was injured and a suspect now in custody after a crash in Milwaukee turned into a shooting. A 35-year-old was shot near 71st and Capitol yesterday afternoon. Police say they arrested a 28-year-old man in that incident. The shooting stemmed from a confrontation after the car crash. And some reminders getting pushed out this week as the major construction project on I-94 is underway in Milwaukee County. Department of Transportation Project Manager Eric Hansen telling Wisconsin's Morning News.
We have posts on our 511 website, social media. I have also installed a lot of smart work zone queue warning message systems out on the freeway itself. That'll give drivers some real-time information and updates.
The I-94 East-West construction project will take about 7 years to complete. You can get all the details by texting the word construction to the WTMJ Siding Unlimited talk and text line 855-616-1620. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Red across the board. The Dow is down about 144 points at 47,192. The NASDAQ is down 276 at 23,557. And the S&P 500 is down about 48 points at 6,804. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. This report is brought to you by the Froedtert and Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
When you see the relief on a husband's face, the tears of joy from a wife, a son, or a daughter, you understand the magnitude of what we're doing here. I'm Dr. Matthew Cooper, Director of Solid Organ Transplantation at the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. As we look to lead the way in transplantation, we're always thinking about what's next and how to maximize outcomes and quality. Clinical trials, scientific research, using the latest technology, offering living donor transplantation, they're all crucial to how we're advancing the science. None of this happens without an all-star team. We mobilize the best of every supporting discipline, from mental health to dietary to pharmacy. We don't have to refer patients outside of the system. The transplant experts are right here. At the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're pushing ahead because the work we do not only changes the playing field, it changes lives.
Are you struggling with stubborn weight gain during perimenopause or menopause? It's not your fault. Your changing hormones are forcing your body to store fat, no matter how little you eat or how much you exercise. But there's hope. The Milwaukee Weight Loss Proprietary Natural Program helps restore your metabolism and reset your hormonal balance so you can finally lose the weight and keep it off. No counting calories, no prepackaged meals, no injections, just real results. Join thousands of women who've discovered how to lose 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks to feel like themselves again. Visit MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, it's WTNJ Steve Scaffidi here. After a summer in the maintenance phase, I'm back in reduction mode. I'm going to lose 10 more pounds. That means I'll have lost 50 pounds since January. The best part, none of the intense workouts, no meals or shakes, none of the meds or injections. Many patients see 20 to 30 pounds come off in just a month or two. Book your free consultation today at 262-393-2334 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Traffic is sponsored by the amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
The successful Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford is hiring positive professional servers and bartenders. You'll make great cash. Inquire today. Start next week. MineShaftRestaurant.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Bucks continuing their mini two-game road trip tonight in Toronto, but coming off a buzzer-beating win last night over the Pacers, 117-115.
Giannis fades, Giannis fires, tough shot, and he hits it at the horn. A game winner for the Greek Freak, fading and firing and silencing the house here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Giannis finishing with 33 points and 13 rebounds. Our coverage of the Bucks and Raptors tonight starting at 6 o'clock here on WTMJ. Green Bay Packers going to be without one of their key offensive players for the rest of the season. Tight end Tucker Kraft reports, I should say MRI testing, confirming he tore his ACL. Packers will be back at Lambeau Field Monday night to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. Just one or two disabled vehicles across the system, but not causing any issues. So moving along nicely here on your Tuesday. And your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy, mild today, a high of 60. Tonight will be mostly cloudy, a low of 48. Tomorrow, sunny skies, a bit windy with a high of 56. On Thursday, partly cloudy. We could see some late rain chances, a high of 54. Some early rain chances then on Friday, highs in the upper 50s. Saturday, we'll see a chance for some afternoon showers, otherwise cloudy and a high of 46. Right now, 47 degrees in Sheboygan. It's 52 in Kenosha and 49 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
And good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Or as I like to say, Hump Day Eve.
Do you say that anywhere outside of this show?
No. Well, this is.
I dare you. I would pay you $10 just to go up to people
at an
outside
event,
of the show.
say Happy Hump Day Eve.
Yes.
I'll do it.
I'll buy your next Negroni.
Well, there you go. That's a $10 drink, so it's a hefty investment.
I will buy your next Negroni if you just randomly walk up to
Cool,
people and straight face it. You can't be. You have to straight face it. Just like that's what you call Tuesday.
All right. I would do that just to see what happens. A couple things. One, this has nothing to do with what we're going to talk about right now.
Oh, okay.
But I sense that AI is creeping into everything. It's just like I'm being bombarded with AI. Even one of the Neil Doyle doing a great job on the news, by the way. More on that at some point in the future. Even one of the news people, and it was a real person, but he sounded like an AI voice to me. Mm. It's like that. It's like shaping the way I perceive now. It's not just the delivery, and the asking of the questions, the chat GPTs, and all the other versions of that technology. Data centers. It's like creeping into our everyday existence.
Well, we don't know that was an AI voice. You just thought it sounded like one. Okay.
I was just talking to one of the news guys, Adam Roberts. I can say that about doing a bit about him being. He would be the perfect voice for male AI generated questions and answers. I don't know why this is in my head today. It's just everything's AI to me. I think I got to step away. I'm reading too much. I'm watching too much. I've seen literally
to touch grass, like the kids say.
I got to touch grass. Well, deer hunting season will be there because I'll be out in the woods by myself. But literally,
shoot deer.
I'm
touch grass, same thing.
Well, not the same thing. I'm over consuming AI, and I have a meeting after the show.
I know you're finally gonna learn a little bit more on how to leverage ChatGPT.
Yeah, which we all have subscriptions to now. Are you excited about that?
Yeah.
Okay. How will you use it? I'm just curious.
I think at least for the show prep, I think there's certain things where I'll use it to like summarize an article, or have it sometimes help me craft the main takeaways from a certain argument. I might run our newsletter through it as far as how to clean up some of the language or proofread for readability.
When I write, you just clean up my stuff?
No. But as far as just, because sometimes I think there's copywriting is a different skill than your writing in your voice, right? So how to write things in a way that gets people to want to click on something, or it's visually.
Oh, there's a whole science.
There's a whole So things like that where I feel like I will use it for efficiency, but I think it's also the ability. What I know so far is such the top layer of elementary knowledge of how you could use it.
Which is most of us.
Yeah, and so but it's here.
I could see doing a bit where this is how I envision you, like sort of integrating into the AI world. Like you just argue with it all the time. It gives you an answer. You like you're not buying the answer. You want to argue. You want to go back and forth, and you spend like all this.
I'm not that argumentative. Come on.
Come on. Wouldn't that describe you? Arguing with someone who has something that has all the knowledge of the world, and you're going to argue with it.
Well, sometimes it's wrong.
Because the technology is not perfect.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it does create answers, and it is just flat out wrong. So you could argue with it and be right.
A quick listener show poll, nothing to do with our topic, because we're going to get to some serious stuff here. 855-616-1620. Are you ignoring AI, or are you all in? Simple as that. Ignore or all in? From your perspective, whatever it is, I'm guessing more people say ignoring in our listener world.
Well, if you're someone who is retired or about to be retired,
well, that's me.
There's potentially less use case. Well, how will you use it? We're totally off where we're going to start.
Yeah, I know.
Today.
Writing and editing. That's how I'll
Once you retire.
But
for
also,
what? Are you going to start another newsletter?
I'm not really going to.
You're going to start Substack? Steve rules the world. Substack.
That's not a bad idea.
That's not a bad idea.
But everyone asks me about that. Like, what are you going to do? I'm still going to work. Like when you're off, I'd probably come in.
Yeah,
and
so
fill
that's
in
what
for
I
you.
mean. So you're not really retiring.
Well,
you're not
really
doing
retires.
this show, but it's not like you'll have reasons to do it that are for like content creation reasons.
Are you breaking news on my retirement? Is that what you're doing?
No.
Oh,
I'm just saying, as far as my argument stands, that for people who are like hanging it up, like what would they use it for if it's not for work purposes?
To make their life more efficient. Scheduling is one of the big things that I think people could
You got
really
a lot to do when you're retired?
You trust me, grandkids, lawn maintenance, landscaping needs, groceries.
Isn't landscaping and lawn maintenance the same thing?
No.
Oh.
See, that for a
That needs to be
layperson,
scheduled separately.
For a layperson, you would say that. Again, here's that old Chat GPT argument that we're gonna flesh out on a bit at some point. Hey, if the morning show does bits, we should do bits too. I think that's just got to be the policy here. All right, let's take a break. Let's refresh.
Are we talking polling? What are we going to talk about when we come
Yes,
back?
national polling.
And the elections that are tomorrow?
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Combo of all
We'll
that?
obviously cover that today and tomorrow. But not good news for the president.
Well, it's a poll.
It is. Snapshot, as they like to tell us. But not good news, and I think there's some obvious reasons for that, including I read most of the transcript of his interview with Norah O'Donnell. They took out the crazy. A lot of the crazy was taken out. Because it's the same crap every time.
Isn't the whole point of it that it was a full transparency, the full transcript?
I'm talking about the finished.
Are you accusing that they took out some of the crazy?
You have to take. He said the same thing over and over again in the transcript. You can't keep putting the same thing on the air, otherwise it would be bad.
Oh, so
TV.
you're saying what they put on the air versus
Yes.
what the I thought you meant. I thought
No,
you
the
were saying that they
transcript.
took stuff out of the transcript. I was like, wait, what?
No, the transcript is
Okay.
a full
I see what you're
demonstration.
saying,
And
yes.
and you can easily find it. Just go to CBS 60 Minutes and you can find the transcript. Read it for yourself. But we'll dip our toes because we don't have a ton of time because we spent a lot of time talking about AI, which I wanted to.
You really took us on a ride there.
I did. Sometimes you got to just step out.
Go with the flow.
Go with the flow. She's Kristin. I'm Steve Point Taken. 620 WTMJ.
All different types of injury lawyers advertise. Cartoon lawyers, bobblehead lawyers, and folks chasing ambulances with text messages. Our clients don't want or need such lawyers. Our clients know, like, and trust that Pasternak and Zergabel will help in their time of need. I'm Jeff Zergabel of Pasternak and Zergabel. Frank Pasternak and I are excellent personal injury lawyers in our community. If you need help after an injury, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
Looking for a fun and meaningful way to kick off the holiday season? Join us for the 20th anniversary of Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive, Saturday, December 13th at the Kasmeric Center in Grafton. This free, family-friendly event is a celebration of giving. Bring a new, unwrapped toy and help brighten the holidays for children and families in need across Wisconsin. To learn more or get involved, visit kidstokidstoydrive.com and join us on December 13th in Grafton.
Spice up your workday at the original Botanas on 5th Street. Enjoy flavorful and affordable Mexican lunch specials, always made fresh and served fast with a free cup of soup. Authentic taste, local favorite. Mi casa es su casa at Botanas.
Accident Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
Don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval. Get the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as better than the rest. The rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from AccuNet. Get yours by clicking on the blue button at accunet.com.
Hey, think you're the ultimate trivia champ?
Well, prove it against us, your favorite WTMJ host.
It's free to play. All we ask is bring a new unwrapped toy to benefit Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive.
Or you can donate at WTMJ.com. Just text TOY to the WTMJ Talk and Text line.
855-616-1620.
Grab your friends. Test your smarts, all while helping a great cause.
It's the WTMJ Trivia Challenge, coming to a place near you.
Check out the schedule of where we'll be at WTMJ.com. Thanks for coming along on our journey on this Tuesday. 620 WTMJ, Chris Zabrowski's Any Point Taken is where you're at. You miss any or all of our program, always there for you, always available on our podcast page, WTMJ.com. All of the stuff we do, You Need to Listen podcasts and my Scaffidi podcasts and my other podcasts and podcasts that I don't do. And it's just all there for you. It's a great resource. And we've recently revamped a lot of the things we do on our website, so check it out if you haven't already. All right.
Check it out.
How do we want to get into this? Because I sort of laid it out as I see the president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, in maybe a different way than a lot of our listeners do or other people do. I see him as a man who loves to talk, who loves to pontificate, who loves the rally environment. But he also, and I've said this over and over again, looks at things very superficially. And I'm not saying he's not really good at real estate. He obviously is because he's made a fortune, I think, doing that. But on all the other stuff, very superficial. And I think for the first time in this term, he's starting to see negative numbers as far as how the public perceives them. And you correctly pointed out in our show notes that a lot of this, I think, is related to the cost of groceries, how much things cost, a little more challenging times. We haven't even gotten to the healthcare piece of this yet because that's all unfolding as we speak. Hopefully they'll figure it out in Washington, D.C. Hopefully they won't add thousands of dollars to your healthcare costs every year because that's not good when you're already challenged with your household budget. I perceive it as the president is not doing what he needs to do for the individual budgets and for our economy, not doing it to the level that a president needs to be involved with.
So the news bent of this is that there's a new NBC News poll.
Right.
And in that, more voters say that Trump has not lived up to their expectations on several major issues. So around 2/3 of registered voters say the Trump administration has fallen short on the economy and the cost of living. And then a smaller majority, but still a majority, say he's fallen short of changing business as usual in Washington. And then there was a different, this is an IPSA, Washington Post, ABC News, Ipsos poll that was talking about cost of things, and that 7 in 10 of Americans say grocery costs have risen in the past year. 6 in 10 blame Trump a great deal or a good amount for those costs, which I think it goes back. Bill has mentioned this a couple times on Fridays as far as just like there has not, I don't think you can argue whether you are a Trump fan or not, that there has been a laser focus on cost of living from this administration.
No.
Laser focus on border security, laser focus on ICE being able to get people who are not here legally out. But I would say there's been less that I can see. Besides, I know people point to the tax cuts being extended in the One Big Beautiful Bill, but beyond that, I haven't necessarily seen a lot of things that feels like it's targeting towards the cost of living. Which the thing that stood out to me more than Trump being blamed or not being blamed was in the NBC poll on the eve of a Democratic socialist being elected to the biggest city in the country. The share of registered voters with positive views of capitalism has dropped to under 50% for the first time in 7 years of NBC News polling on the issue. I think that is a more interesting trend as far as people's, not just their view on a specific candidate or a specific party, but on our actual economic model of more people being like, yeah, capitalism's really not working for me, and what that says about where we are.
I think it's dangerous.
It could be. I'm just
not
saying,
a Bernie Sanders bro.
That stood out to me way more than anything else, as far as potentially more people shifting towards whatever system we have right now is not working.
Define. I know what the definition is because I'm looking at it. Democratic socialism. Define it in a layperson's how you view that idea. I'm curious because you're a left of
I
center.
don't identify as a democratic socialist.
No, I know you don't.
mean, when I think democratic socialist, I think of like the Nordic countries. I think of Sweden and Norway and Finland, and basically like the idea of enough of a social safety net where like anyone can be rich, but no one can be poor.
Yeah, it's basically benefit society as a whole, not the certain
the individual.
individuals.
Yeah. And so it's like there is enough of a sense of community by shared benefits that people can't slip through the cracks. But it also it's not like communism where no one can succeed because the government owns everything. There is still the opportunity and the incentives to succeed in business, but it is a regulated capitalism. So it's not, what we talk about all the time, right? Like just like prioritizing shareholder stock versus actually doing good for the community as a whole instead of just maximizing profit.
Yeah, to use the shareholder example, under that model, democratic socialism, all of the citizens of the United States would be the shareholders, and you do the best work.
Socialism, the government doesn't own all the means of production.
No, they own some of them, and they try to. They have some of the institutions. They try to gain traction with them and try to move them in their direction.
Aren't we there anyways? Isn't Trump?
Well, that's my point. So here's where it gets.
Aren't we doing state-sponsored?
Here's where it gets crazy.
Companies, anyways.
Because this president, this administration is essentially buying stakes in major companies across this country. So even though most Republicans, most conservatives certainly would argue, conservatives should, against that sort of getting involved with our private sectors, the opposite's happening under a president who clearly would never identify as a democratic socialist. He talked about this in the Norah O'Donnell interview. He goes, yeah, I mean, faced with that choice, you'd take Cuomo in a second over Mandani.
Well, he gave Cuomo his endorsement. I don't know if that's going to help him or not. But
yeah, first of all, and we'll probably get to this in the next segment, his endorsement right now, not worth much. And it's probably not going to be worth much in any of the races we're going to talk about in the next segment. It's just not going to be.
You mean any of today's races?
Yes, because whoever you watch, whoever you listen to, or watch on TV or read, they're all basically saying Democrats, even the Democratic Socialists, are going to clean up tonight. That's sort of what I see. +8, +9, +10 margins in a lot of the Virginia, New York,
How close do you think Jersey's going to be? Oh, well, let's take a break.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about the what we're predicting for tonight's election.
Yeah, it's a great setup for tomorrow's show where we'll kind of see what the results were. All right, and we don't forget, we got a great interview coming up at 10:35 with a candidate for Wisconsin Supreme Court. Judge Maria Lazar is going to join us in studio.
Wonderful.
I think it's like we've got everybody that's running just about. We've got some of the new additions we haven't gotten yet, but that's what we do on this show. All right, we'll take a break here. She's Kristin, I'm Steve. Point taken, 620 WTMJ.
When we're out in your town, come say hi as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be.
You can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Speaking of WTMJ, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Advent's snoring, tossing and turning, restless nights of sleep, all things you should not be doing, but you've probably done for a while. You put up with it. You've probably tried some other methods, but you really didn't address the problem, which is how you're wired, how you're put together, and some of the issues that you might be challenged with, which makes sleeping hard for you. I did something about it. More than 5 years ago, I went to Advent, 30-minute visit, asked my questions. They put me at ease. They added in a really simple sleep study at home in my own bed. What did they figure out? For me, sinuses and nasal passage in my breathing triangle. A very common problem. After a short procedure in one of their offices, which are fantastic, by the way, and their staffs are amazing, I'm back to breathing better than ever, sleeping through the whole night. My wife, Kathy, blesses Advent every morning because I don't snore anymore. And if you struggle like I used to, take the time to see how Advent can help you. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well, more importantly, can make your nights better, go to adventknows.com. Schedule an appointment today because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
When you want the best medical attention, you don't just go to anybody, you go to a specialist. The same should be true with your car or truck. I'm Deb Cruz, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Mega Milwaukee. When your vehicle needs service, take it to a specialist, an Adam member new car dealer. Adam dealers use factory warranty parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians specially trained on the advanced technology on your vehicle. They have all the latest manufacturer service bulletins and will know if your issue is covered by an existing warranty or if there are any recalls. And despite what you might assume, their prices are as low or even lower than the independent shops, even on routine maintenance and tires. Now, knowing all that, why would you even consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
For great paying job opportunities, visit adam.com. That's ADAMM.com.
It's election night across America in a lot of places, like New York. New mayor. We'll get there at some point.
Either way, new mayor.
Yeah, redistricting in California. And by the way, if you're a squawker on radio and you sat out Texas, you don't need to wait on California because you sat that one out. You shouldn't have an opinion on this one. They're not that much different. It's a response to what happened in Texas and other states that are working in that area. And if you're remember how much time and energy we spent on gerrymandering? Oh my God, it's just like, whatever. That's just out the window now. Whatever. Do what you want.
I hate it. I hate that story. I hate that so much. I hate the race to the bottom. And then the fact that there's so many other states that are still figuring out how and if they're going to do it in addition. And it's the worst. It's only giving parties more power and taking more power away from voters. I hate it so much.
I think most people do. It's I knew we were going to get here because that's how hyperpartisanship works. We're just going to rig the system.
And not even like lie about it anymore, right?
No.
And like that is like, oh no, this is exactly what we're doing. It's like, well, at least you're honest.
Just not that I'd like to go back on the show, but real quick, somebody mentioned that their wife uses AI for their scrapbooking.
I'm trying to imagine how that
I don't know.
works. Because scrapbooking, more. I feel like, is the physical act of like gluing down the pages.
Maybe ideas.
So maybe it's like it's like I have all these, like, show me an image of how I could arrange them on a 12 by 12 piece of paper.
I saw a lot of ignores too, so if you get a sense of where people are at. Now, I was watching Harry Enton on CNN last night talking about these races, and to a race, and even in California, if you want to pick that as, Republicans versus Democrats or liberal conservative, Democrats had almost double-digit margins in all of these things. Whether it was the New York mayor's race, socialist Democrat, redistricting.
New Jersey governor?
Yes, that was like 8 or 9.
Oh, I thought it was going to be closer. I thought
that's
the
just
Republican. Yeah, I thought
8 or
the
9.
Republican. It was showing the Republican had kind of caught up with her, and it was going to be closer to like.
And the salient point from his presentation about all these margins, which were pretty significant, the last time any of these comparable races were set up this way, the last 5 times it happened, it was always a win by Democrats in the House the following year in midterms. The last 5 times. Isn't that?
You mean based on who was in the?
If Democrats did well in these specific races, the next year, because they sort of match up, the next year in redistricting, the Democrats did well.
Midterms.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think back, because that was like, I remember this time in 2021, right? So after Biden had won.
Yeah.
And was the first 9 or 10 months of his, 10 months of his term. And that was when there, like, actually Republicans had done really well, I remember. And that was like the inverse of what we're seeing tonight.
We're going to hash it all out tomorrow when we know. So it's a big thing. All right, after the break, we're going to have candidates. Current judge, appeals court in Wisconsin, based out of Waukesha. Judge Maria Lazar is going to join us for a couple segments talking about her race, her candidacy, where she's going, what she thinks. We have a lot of questions for her, and we always love these sort of in-person chances to sit down with major candidates, so we'll do that after the break. We have local news with Neil Doyle, and the latest now from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Today marks the nation's first major election day since Donald Trump returned to the White House. His leadership and policies dominating debate in almost every race. The biggest contests are in New Jersey, Virginia, and New York City, as well as California, where voters are deciding whether they want the state to redraw congressional maps. Former Vice President Dick Cheney, the staunch conservative who was George W. Bush's running mate for 2 terms, has died. Cheney said this about his partnership with Bush.
My job is to offer advice, which I do, to take on assignments, which he gives me, which I do. But I say I'm there specifically to serve him in any way I can, and not worry a lot about what my public image might be, or am I warm and fuzzy, or am I perceived as the tough guy. I really don't worry about that.
The federal government shutdown has now entered day 35. Tomorrow it will become the longest shutdown in history. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 10:31. I'm Neil Doyle. Three people were shot outside a bar on Milwaukee's northwest side. It happened just before midnight Monday outside the Tomato Batch bar near 35th and Villard. The victims, ages 32, 36, and 50, were all taken to the hospital but are expected to survive. Police say an investigation is ongoing. The State Senate Committee on Education is scheduled to hear today from the leader of Wisconsin schools. Lawmakers on the committee have invited State Superintendent Jill Underly to answer questions regarding the department's handling of alleged sexual misconduct cases. Underly did not attend a similar hearing before an Assembly committee last week. This comes after a report highlighting over 200 cases of alleged sexual misconduct by licensed school staff since 2018. Downtown Milwaukee's former University Club is being converted into a 35-room luxury boutique hotel, according to a permit application filed last week. The plans also include adding a restaurant, ballroom, banquet hall, and fitness area. Northwestern Mutual purchased the property last summer for just over $4 million. The University Club closed its downtown location about 2 years ago due to surging maintenance costs and other issues. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. Still red across the board. The Dow is down 141 points at 47,195. NASDAQ is down 285 points at 23,548. And the S&P 500 is now down about 47 at 6,804. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. No major issues, still just 1 or 2 disabled vehicles out on the system, but not causing any concerns here for your Tuesday commutes. And your WTMJ 5-day forecast will be partly cloudy, mild conditions today. We'll see a high get up near 60. Then tonight, mostly cloudy, a low down to 48. Plenty of sunshine Wednesday, a little windier, highs in the mid-50s. Thursday will be partly cloudy. We could see some late rain chances, a high of 54. Friday, some chances for rain early on, a high up to 57. And then Saturday, we could see some late showers, otherwise mostly cloudy, and a high of 46. Right now, 53 degrees in Madison. It's 52 in Racine and sitting at 48 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1034.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
In Heartland, you're going to find a focus on distinctive furniture, unique antiques, and original artwork, along with tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. In Pewaukee, the focus is on kitchen, outdoor, and garden decor, and all of it is priced at 25 to 40% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value.
Design Exchange.
Networks, streaming services, retail chains, and tech giants are all adding plus to their names. But where did the concept originate? We may be biased, but we think these big wigs found their inspiration for plus at Hasseless Mattress. Hasseless showrooms are employee-free. Give your mattress a try with no pushy sales guy. Plus, our 35 beds from the top 5 brands start at $393. plus unbeatable prices on Tempur-Pedic, plus free next day delivery and setup, plus free haul away and disposal of your old mattress, plus 60-month interest-free financing on select Tempur-Pedic with approved credit, plus a $300 MasterCard gift card with your Tempur-Pedic mattress, plus a ruggedly handsome spokesman with a smooth radio voice. Get all this, plus a whole lot more when you shop at Hassellist Mattress. Or maybe we should change our name to Hassellist Plus. Nah. Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at hassellist.com.
If you listen to this show, Point Taken is the name of the show. She's Kristin, I'm Steve. Kristin, Brey, Steve Scaffidi on 630 WTMJ. You know we love talking to the candidates. This is a special one because there's only a couple candidates for Wisconsin Supreme Court. Judge Maria Lazar has been a judge on Wisconsin Court of Appeals since 2022. Her opponent is a former Democratic lawmaker who has been in the studio as well. This race is not going to change the makeup of the courts. We all know that. If Taylor wins, obviously it would go up to 5-2. If our guest, Maria Lazar, wins, it would be 4-3. I guess I always ask this question of candidates. Why you, why now? What's that decision like?
So why me, why now?
Yeah.
So first, hello. Thank you for having me on.
I probably should say hi first, shouldn't I?
That's okay.
I said hi to you out there.
That's fine. I'm Judge Maria Lazar on the Court of Appeals now, running obviously for state Supreme Court. Why me, why now? I think after looking at all the races that have happened in this state, and we seem to have them just one after another, I've just been very concerned about how they've turned from judicial races into political races. And I have always, through my career, been either a lawyer or a judge, and I just think a judge needs to go in that court. And when Justice Rebecca Bradley decided not to run, I took some time, had a little trip I had to take out of the state, and I decided that this was the time that I should step up and do something to restore justice and integrity to that court and to make it more collegial.
Do you think we should elect judges? Because a lot of states don't.
That's a good question. So a lot of states have merit. I think in Wisconsin, well, first of all, Wisconsinites will never give up the right to elect their judges. I actually think it is a good thing. I think there's an accountability that you have to the people that you're not representing, you're serving. But I think there's that's a good aspect that you have, that you know in your mind that you really have to make sure you're following what you're supposed to do as a judge, and that people have that ability to say, we really don't like where you're going. You're out of the mainstream, and we don't want you anymore.
So it's interesting because I think it was the last Marquette poll, they asked voters if the Supreme Court elections should be partisan or nonpartisan, because obviously right now they're nonpartisan.
Correct.
And it seemed like there was a majority. I think there was a majority that said they should just be partisan because that's how it seemed. So as far as how is this going to, this stated goal of yours as far as bringing integrity back to this, as far as being impartial, being independent, how do you think that's going to impact your campaign, knowing the amount of money that's been raised in the past, knowing the way that parties do get involved? Are there certain boundaries you're putting out for yourself?
Well, first, we are all judges, either candidates or judges, are bound by ethical rules. As to what this is going to do for the state, I think this is a perfect opportunity for everyone in the state to just look back and say, last election, judicial election for the Supreme Court was way too much money, too much outside noise, too political. We need to bring it back, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going around the state. I'm telling people we need to bring this court back to where it was, where it's justice, it's judges, it's not partisan. You shouldn't be partisan. You're a judge. I've never been a member of a political party. You shouldn't be a member of a political party. That's the other branches of government. We are separate and apart, and we should be that way no matter what noise there was last election.
One of the words that gets thrown around a lot, and it's unfortunate because it's a serious thing, and it's constitutionally or constitution. I remember talking to Dan Kelly when he was a candidate, and he always said the Constitution is the Constitution in the state of Wisconsin. That's the law of the land. That's what I follow. But I would always say to him and anyone else who brought that up, and I've talked to a lot of different candidates over the years, if it was that easy, we wouldn't need justices because it would be pretty simple. There's always interpretation. So how would you define your approach to what is considered constitutional law or the state of Wisconsin's Constitution as a justice, potentially?
Well, and that's funny. So you're right. If it was just the Constitution, we could have robo-judges.
Right.
Why do anything else? There is that level of interpretation that's needed. Because, for example, when the Constitution, the U.S. Constitution or Wisconsin was drafted, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have we had privacy rights, but how does that relate to a cell phone? So a judge or a justice, which I'm hoping to be on that court, justice always has to look at the law as it was written and then interpret it, but say what the law is. And my view, my goal, and how I've always followed the law and what I see is, one, we wear black robes for a purpose. In my view, it holds our personal views inside. I look at the law. I look at the facts. I sort of model myself after U.S. Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia and Gorsuch in that I really look at what it says. I don't try to interpret it to be what I want it to say. And in fact, in some of my opinions, I'll add little footnotes. That's always a key. Reading my opinions, look at my footnotes. There are sometimes sarcastic, but look at my footnotes. And sometimes I'll say something like, I don't really think the legislature meant to say this, but I'm going to interpret it the way they did it. And I'm going to also suggest maybe they want to revisit it because that's not my role. But I'm hoping that my little telegraph is saying to them, hey, you wrote it this way. Maybe you should look at it, or the people of Wisconsin should elect someone else to look at it correctly.
So one of the things that drives me nuts about Supreme Court elections is the amount of, well, one, the money, but also the campaign tactics that they look at different criminal cases that a judge has seen in the past. But that is not what the Supreme Court does. They do not look at criminal cases. So as far as some of the cases you have seen on Court of Appeals or earlier in your career, what do you feel like would be a better representation of a case and an outcome that demonstrates your judicial perspective?
So
if you could pick the campaign.
If I could pick. So first of all, you're right. People do always ask, how do you rule on criminal cases, which is always an amusing way to look at it, because the Supreme Court will look at criminal cases, but more in an abstract view of what's the proper burden of proof or legal standard. They're not looking at They don't look at the individuals. Right. No, they can look at a sentence and say it's inappropriate or not, but you're not. Trial court judges are on the front lines. They see the people right in front of them and they make credibility assessments. That's what I did there. On the Court of Appeals, an opinion that I would say sort of defines me is I would look at some of my my summaries where I'm talking more about smaller issues that don't seem to be as big or as deep. Things like I've had some about guardians over young adults who are mentally incapable, or I've had cases about privacy and social media posts. And a lot of these, all of these, are really on my my website, judgemarialazar.com. I reference them. Also, if you want to get deeper and more legally complex, which makes people's eyes roll over, you'd look at some of my statements and in opinions with respect to separation of powers and things like that. But it's always the simpler ones that you look at to see how someone is ruling and what they think and how they say. I had a case, for example, where a judge decided that they were going to penalize someone for posting social media posts and ban them from ever doing it at all, which never came up in front of the court at all. One party just raised it in the middle of the case, and I said, that's absolutely unrealistic and unreasonable. Not realistic, unreasonable, and I overruled that. Got it. Or reversed that.
She's Judge Maria Lazar, candidate for Wisconsin Supreme Court next year. We'll continue the conversation with our guest after this on Point Taken on 620 WTMJ.
Talk about value. When it comes to casual dining, I can't think of a better value out there. If you're looking for a way to stretch your family's dining budget, come to Marty's Pizza, where feeding your family won't cost you an arm or a leg. You know, we're reasonably priced, and that's how it's going to stay. That's why we've been around so long. We offer a quality product at the right price. Italian dinners, subs, sandwiches, salads, and of course, 100% real mozzarella cheese pizza. Find us easily online at martyspizza.net.
Marty's Pizza. Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that. Remember, Marty's Pizza.
Get 2 mattresses for the price of 1.
Whoa, what are you doing?
We don't do sales at Penny Mustard.
I know, Nicole.
So how can we offer 2 mattresses for the price of 1?
Because it's only 1 mattress.
You're not making sense, Ben. Have you been painting in confined spaces again?
Arvid, I'm talking about Penny Mustard's 2-sided mattresses.
Oh, I see. When you have a flippable 2-sided foam or coil spring mattress,
it's like having 2 mattresses for the price of 1.
You'll give each side more time to breathe.
And your mattress will last twice as long.
You use both sides of your pillow, and you should be able to use both sides of your mattress, too.
I don't use a pillow.
What do you use?
A cement block.
Really?
I find it relaxing after a long day of painting in confined spaces.
2-sided mattresses, because 2 is better than 1. Available every day at Penny Mustard Furnishings.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Penny Mustard Furnishings.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. Remember when you lived a life pain-free? Remember when it didn't hurt with every step or every reach? Well, relief is closer than you think, thanks to QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses your body's own regenerative power, using natural healing factors that help restore and repair damaged tissue and reduce inflammation. No surgery, no pain pills, no long recovery. Imagine doing the things you love to do pain-free. That's the freedom that QC Kinetics offers. And speaking of freedom, this Veterans Day, QC Kinetics is giving back to our heroes. Veterans will get $500 off their treatment. And every non-veteran who starts care, QC Kinetics will donate $500 to the Wounded Warrior Project. Call QC Kinetics today, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. Call QC Kinetics today and live your life pain-free.
When you're due for tire service, visit richlawns.com for the location nearest you.
We'll give you a free flat tire repair on every tire we install. No questions asked. I'm Brett Matchke with Rich Lawns. You're due for service.
Rich Lawns.
Our guest this half hour, the time goes quick. We have to make this a short segment. We love that Judge Maria Lazar from the Wisconsin Court of Appeals is in studio, candidate for Wisconsin Supreme Court. Got to ask this question. You talk about taking politics out of it, but you've been at events with people like Michael Gableman, Michael Flynn. I know how these events work. You get invited, you show up. It doesn't mean you agree with what they say, but I'd love to hear your take on being at an event with those two individuals who are, in the state of Wisconsin and beyond, pretty contentious fellows.
That's true. I was at an event where Michael Flynn was a listed speaker. I went there to talk to everyone else in the room and talk to people about my campaign. And I did learn later that former Justice Michael Gableman was there, but there was a 150 guest list. Right. I didn't invite anybody on that list. I didn't know he was going to be there. And if you're going to say that I'm responsible for people on guest lists, I think that's a little bit outrageous. As to their points of view, I mean, it is the First Amendment. I don't agree with things that people say. I've never gone down the sort of crazy conspiracy paths, but I can't say anything about if I go to an event or a rally and there's someone there who's absolutely unbelievable.
Let me ask you, this is not a legal question. Did Donald Trump lose the 2020 election in Wisconsin and beyond?
Yes.
Okay. And that's the easiest.
That's a very easy answer.
I love when people just answer the question, yes. And you just did that.
Absolutely. We love that. Similarly, I think it was recently, Justice Karofsky was interviewed by Upfront and talking about recusal rules and wanting to change what our current system is for justices recusing themselves. Do you have a strong feeling on the current system working or thinking that it could be looked at and updated?
I believe the current system works. Recusal rules, I'm not going to bore you with all the names of the cases, but it's set by the U.S. Supreme Court and the Wisconsin State Supreme Court, and the rules are objective and subjective. It's as a judge, am I in a position where I believe that I will objectively or subjectively not be viewed to be impartial in this case. For example, my brothers are lawyers. If they come in front of me, I can't take their case. Obviously, would I rule for or against them? That's a family issue. But I just can't do that, so I would recuse. If it's a case that I worked on as a lawyer, obviously I can't do that. But I think every individual judge has to look inside themselves and say, and the important question I think is would the public looking at this case think that they're going to walk in, someone's going to walk in, and they're not going to get a fair opportunity to present their case? And if there's that appearance of impropriety, a judge should recuse. that's a private decision. It goes up, obviously, and it ends with the state Supreme Court. But I just don't know how you make the ruling different. It's what's inside someone when they're sitting there. How do you change that? Do you? And I also don't comment on judges or justices' opinions. I can look and say in my head whether I agree or not, but I'm not going to say that publicly because people would ask me, have I recused on things? And the answer is yes or no, depending on the circumstances.
Have you recused in fact?
I have recused on cases, yes. I mean, obviously, especially when I first got on the bench, if my law firm had been on a case or the Department of Justice, I couldn't take that. And even if I could do it fairly and impartially, the parties would look at me and say, you're biased. And that's the problem. If people look at me when they walk in my courtroom and think they're not going to get a fair ruling, I shouldn't be on the bench on that case.
Last question. How well do you know your opponent, Chris Taylor? Justice.
How well
Judge Taylor.
How well do I know her? We've met each other. I went to her investiture when she was put on the Court of Appeals. I see her at Court of Appeal meetings. We don't have many, maybe one a year. I've seen her at bar events, so I guess I know her.
Okay. I always say this. I hope for a smart race, not a dumb race, and Kristin alluded to some of the commercials that we've seen and all. I just hope we do it the right way because we should be proud of ourselves in Wisconsin and not embarrassed by some of the things that happen, and often not even by the candidates or anyone associated with the campaign. So I love the fact you came in. We always love the in-person stuff. Judge Taylor did the same thing.
Thank you.
I hope we can continue the conversation.
Absolutely. Anytime, just ask me how to get here. I got a little lost coming in, I'll admit.
It's not always the easiest place to get to.
So, but thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Judge Maria Lazar from the Wisconsin Court of Appeals. We'll take a quick break here on Point Taken. Kristin and Steve on 620 WTMJ.
From Milwaukee to the 6, we run the North tonight.
Fires, tough shot, and he hits it at the horn. A game winner for the Greek Freak, fading and firing.
The Bucks head to Toronto to take on the Raptors.
Oh, what a shot! The Greek Freak standing tall.
Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6 on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Hey, this is WTMJ. Steve Scaffidi here from Milwaukee Weight Loss. And I love talking about it because who doesn't want to talk about weight loss? I lost 45 pounds since January. I'm back in the reduction phase, actually just talking with my friends at Milwaukee Weight Loss about doing a program for next year. Get down maybe my high school weight. Is that possible? I don't know. We'll see. But they helped me do this, and they were on this journey with me with their great coaching and all their great expertise. It's the smart way to lose weight. Doctor-developed natural. It helped me lose weight without the crazy workouts and the prepackaged stuff and the meds and the shots for some people. That works. But these are real results that last. You keep the weight off, resetting your metabolism. If you want to stop the yo-yo stuff, take control of your own life and your own diet and your own weight, certainly. There's a smarter, faster, safer way to reach that goal, your goal, and that's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. They have an incredible team. Schedule your free consultation today. It's so easy. It starts with a phone call or a visit. MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com or call 262-393-2334. I'll give it to you one more time. 262-393-2334. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
I know why you continue to live in pain. It's because you don't believe anything can be done to help. Maybe you bought into something and you've been burned before. I mean, your skepticism, it's understandable. This is Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and here we use powerful, anti-inflammatory, and cushioning pharmacological medicines to ease your pain. They're FDA approved, and most medical insurance is going to pay for our treatments, including Medicare and Medicaid. And that's the litmus test. Because if insurance has shown to cover the cost of many of our patients' treatments, you can be sure it's valid medicine. It's not a biological treatment considered experimental or some new gimmick that's trying to hook you. The Rejuvenex approach to pain relief is legitimate. It helps to alleviate pain in shoulders, hips, elbows, and knees. And from what we've seen, it gives people a new lease on their lives.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Call today, and there's a good chance we'll see you tomorrow.
No need to wait for Black Friday. Shop early and save today at Fleet Farm's pre-Black Friday sale. Enjoy big savings like 25% off Tamarack footwear for the whole family. And get a jump on that wish list with 10% off all Melissa and Doug toys. Plus, get everyone's go-to portable buddy heater by Mr. Heater, now just $79.99. We're dropping new deals weekly to help you beat the holiday shopping rush at Fleet Farm. And check out all our hottest deals at fleetfarm.com.
Relax on Thanksgiving Day with your family and enjoy the historic Fox & Hound's all-you-care-to-eat buffet. Tables are open at 10 a.m. and 5:30 p.m., but reserve today as tables fill quickly. FoxandHoundsRestaurant.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
I love when guests come in, and I was very impressed by Judge Maria Lazar, one of two candidates for Wisconsin Supreme Court at this moment.
Yeah, from the 414 on the Talk Text line, Judge Maria Lazar, one of the most sane voices I have heard running for judgeship that I have heard in a long time. That's exactly what I said to you off the air. I was like, that was like what you expect a judge to sound.
Confidence, knew what she was talking about, had the experience and in the case law, and obviously the background as an attorney for many years. I just was impressed by her. So that's why we do this.
I'm encouraged that maybe this spring election will not be as insane as they have been in the past.
I don't think it will, because it's not going to change the court.
It's not going to change the court, but it just, as far as the attacks, the craziness, the violent commercials that we sometimes hear that about like people's heads in ovens, and so that was encouraging as far as how much better this election might be in the spring. I have no kind of expectation for the fall to be like that.
All right. Speaking of encouraging, our new newsletter came out. Now, some people said, I didn't get it. Why is that?
Because it might have gone to your spam or your trash. So if you signed up for extra points, thank you. And if you did not receive it on Sunday, please check your trash or your spam folder. It should be sitting there nicely for you, and then there should be a little button that says report not spam,
and then you'll get it
and then they
week.
will always come to your inbox. But technology is not always our friend, so please check. Also, if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. 855-616-1620. Text the word extra. We will send you the link to sign up, and we're already working on issue 2.
And this week, my recommendations for things that I watch or read to help me get ready for the show. That's one of my sort of recommendations.
I have not decided what my recommendation is yet.
All right, we got to take a break here. Lots more great guests coming up. David Krause, he's the Emeritus Associate Professor of Finance at Marquette University, talking about crypto. Ooh, a
lot of different crypto news. He had a recent paper that came out that he wrote up a little bit in the Journal Sentinel. So yeah, lots to get to.
All right, we'll do that after the break. News is next.
Do you have a spot that's too cold in the winter, but if you jack up the heat, the rest of the house is too warm? Vince Vitrano for USA Insulation. Time to get Jeff and his team out to your house. Proper insulation from USA forms a thermal barrier that maintains warmth in the winter and coolness in the summer. Time to get in on thousands of dollars of government efficiency credits. Jeff and his team at USA Insulation find the grants, rebates, reductions, and they discount the cost of your project up front. Get started at usainsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
You want in on the autumn action at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee? Of course you do. With $300,000 in prizes, who wouldn't? November 1st through the 20th, play with your rewards card for entries. Thursdays, pick your win from a prize board. At the end of the night, all leftover prizes go to one winner in a jackpot drawing. Autumn action. It's going down at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
The Previent Law Firm wanted to streamline their document printing. The firm's office manager, Chris Wilms.
And then I sat down with our rep, and he helped us find a better solution that would be cost-effective.
James Imaging Systems Managed Print Services Program. All your print technology bundled under one program that includes parts, supplies, and service, all for one low cost per print.
Right, a better solution to help us save money over the long term.
And there's flexibility should your business needs change.
Yes, so that again is where we get the value of our money to readjust it, to go and update our contracts.
Chris, sounds like you might be willing to recommend managed print services from James Imaging Systems to other businesses.
Oh, I definitely would tell them James Imaging.
James Imaging Systems, managed print services, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation. Call 262-781-7700. 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi here. Year-end tax planning can sound daunting, but it doesn't have to be. Let's review what tasks you'll need to prioritize and what might require attention in an Annex Wealth Management webinar with CEO Dave Spano, Director of Financial Planning Eric Strom, and yours truly. Join us Tuesday, November 18, 2025 at 1 p.m. to get all the insights you need to close out the year strong. Register now. Click the events button at annexwealth.com to save your free spot. That's annexwealth.com. Click events to register today.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
From Milwaukee to the 6, we run the North tonight.
Fires, tough shot, and he hits it at the horn. A game winner for the Greek Freak, fading and firing.
The Bucks head to Toronto to take on the Raptors. Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6 on the home of the Bucks. News Radio 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 11:01. Today, partly cloudy, mild, a high of 60. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm John Mercure. Former Vice President Dick Cheney, considered by many political observers to be the most influential vice president in history, has died at the age of 84. His political career spanned decades. He was White House Chief of Staff for President Gerald Ford, Defense Secretary under President George H.W. Bush, served as a congressman, and was President George W. Bush's vice president. In a statement, his family said he died due to complications of pneumonia and cardiac and vascular disease. ABC's Karen Travers.
After a stint as head of defense contractor Halliburton, Cheney returned to run George W. Bush's vice presidential selection committee and was selected himself.
The person who was best qualified to be my vice presidential nominee was working by my side.
After 9/11, Cheney was influential in formulating the U.S. response. The doctrine of preemptive action widened the war on terrorism from Afghanistan to Iraq.
It's day 35 of the government shutdown, and lawmakers are still no closer to agreeing on a bill that would fund the government and reopen it. Senate Minority Leader John Thune has expressed optimism that talks could happen soon, but is rejecting President Trump's suggestions to get rid of the filibuster. Democrats say they want to talk to Republicans about extending Affordable Care Act subsidies. ABC's Rachel Scott.
We are now on vote number 14 here in the Senate. So we're going to see this sort of same rhythm, song and dance that we've been seeing over the last several weeks. We're going to see Republicans force a vote in the Senate, bringing up a bill to fund the government. But again, this is not going to have any of the Democratic demands in here, extending those expiring Obamacare subsidies. Democrats say they're holding firm on that, so health care premiums do not rise for millions of Americans.
CBS Chief Washington correspondent Major Garrett joins us live with the latest coming up this afternoon at 5:15. The leader of Wisconsin's Department of Public Instruction is scheduled to appear today before the State Senate Committee on Education.
Lawmakers on the committee have invited State Superintendent Jill Underly to answer questions regarding the department's handling of alleged sexual misconduct cases. Underly did not attend a similar hearing before an Assembly committee last week. This comes after a report highlighting over 200 cases of alleged sexual misconduct by licensed school staff since 2018. In response to the recent report, new legislation is being introduced by Republican lawmakers to define and create a felony for sexual grooming in state law. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
And a staple in Milwaukee's South Side will soon close its doors. Martino's Restaurant, known for their signature hot dogs, plans to close December 19th. It's been open since 1977. The owners have indicated they're exploring possible new opportunities for the future. Time for news about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow clawing back a little bit, but still down. Right now off 128. The NASDAQ's off 322. The S&P is down 53 points. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
Now through Wednesday, save on 14.75 to 29.45 ounce selected varieties Culinary Circle Pizza, 2 for $10. 46 to 48 ounce selected varieties Blue Bunny Dairy Dessert, $3.99. 4 to 6 count selected varieties Dannon Light and Fit or Oikos Multi-Pack Yogurt, 2 for $7. Gallon selected varieties Prairie Farms White Milk, $3.99.
I am starving.
Oh, no. Never walk into a Century when you're hungry.
Unless it's free sample day. Ooh, oh, pizza, yes. I'd love to try that one.
My husband thinks he can make a meal out of grocery store samples.
Need to wash this down. I think I see someone handing out samples in the liquor department.
Geez, can we focus on our list?
What's this?
It says you can win 2 tickets to Green Bay's home game against Chicago on December 7th.
Or autographed footballs, or a 4-pack of Green Bay Hall of Fame tickets.
You have to enter through Century's Facebook or Instagram.
I'll be entering this on my phone in the deli next to that cheese sample station.
Enter by November 12th.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Bucks continue their road trip tonight in Toronto, but a buzzer beater in the win over the Pacers last night.
Giannis fades, Giannis fires, tough shot, and he hits it at the horn. A game winner for the Greek Freak, fading and firing and silencing the house here at Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Tonight, coverage of Bucks Raptors starts at 6 o'clock on WTMJ, and the men's college basketball season is officially underway. 24th-ranked Wisconsin knocks off Campbell 96-64. Marquette with an 80-53 victory over Albany, and UW-Milwaukee opens the season with a 90-86 win over Hampton. Badger Sports Updates are sponsored by Siding Unlimited Siding and a whole lot more. Checking out those roads. 94 heading west out of Milwaukee. The shoulder closed in a couple places because of disabled vehicles. Other than that, the system is clear. The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, mild, mild, a high of 60. Tonight, cloudy, a low of 48. Tomorrow, sunny, 56. Thursday, partly cloudy, 54. Friday, chance for rain, a high of 57. And on Saturday, afternoon rain, a high of 46 degrees. Right now in Madison, sunny and 55. In Green Bay, partly cloudy, a high of 46. In Milwaukee, partly sunny, a high of 50 degrees. I'm John Mercure, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
Hello, hello. Welcome back to the 11 o'clock hour of Point Taken. And, I think it was well over a year ago, the first time I had our next guest on the old show, because the Wisconsin Pension Fund had just decided to invest in Bitcoin. And so he is an expert in all things crypto. So we had him come on, explain what it meant. Well, now fast forward, and the State of Wisconsin Investment Board has sold its entire Bitcoin ETF position as of right now. And so David Kraus, Emeritus Associate Professor of Finance at Marquette University, is back because you have some thoughts on this that were recently published in an op-ed in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as far as what is your interpretation as far as Bitcoin when it comes to the retirement fund?
Well, first of all, it's great to be back. Good to see you both.
Welcome back. Is the first time you met Steve, right?
Yeah, it is the first time.
There you go.
Yes, it is. A pleasure. Thank you. Wisconsin Pension Fund literally taught the master class on how to invest in alternative investments. Bitcoin was something they purchased in early 2024. We all scratched our head and went, do they know what they're doing? They did. They researched it. They rode through the increase in the market price and systematically sold off the investment about a year later. All total, they invested over $300 million of Wisconsin pension fund money. And given what we know right now, because we don't have complete information, they probably made close to $250 million on the transaction.
In a year?
In a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hell of a return.
Heck of a return.
All right, so explain the divestments.
You know, as individuals, if we go out and take a large position in crypto, say Bitcoin, that can be pretty risky. It is an extremely volatile asset, very volatile. The Wisconsin Pension Fund only held 0.2% of the entire assets in this particular investment, Bitcoin, which is very small. They were able to benefit the overall portfolio because the returns were outstanding, went up, as I said, over 150% while they held it, but they also reduced the risk of the portfolio. This is kind of the magic. When you combine assets together in a portfolio, they can work together to reduce risk. It's called modern portfolio theory. It's what I teach.
The interesting thing is you don't know if they reinvested, right? Because you haven't seen Q3 yet.
Q3 will be coming out. They have to file the 13F SEC form within 45 days at the end of the quarter. So within the next week or two, we'll know if they reinvested in Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other crypto in the third quarter.
None of my investments, I'm an old guy, so I have investments, are in crypto. Explain it to people like me, and a lot of our listeners fall in the same category, either retired.
Well, we have Dave Spano on here every Monday talking about it. And so, I guess it's for like when 0.3% of your entire fund is still $300 million. Talk to the people that's not their situation.
Yeah. What's the magic here? What are we missing?
Well, it's a digital asset.
Right.
Okay. And, I think the same questions were asked by people maybe 25 years ago about what's this internet all about? Or 50 years ago, what's a mainframe computer all about? Or 70 years ago, what's aerospace? Or 120 years ago, what's railroads? I mean, digital assets are a leading industry. Now, whether they're going to be permanent and whether it's going to be the underpinning of the financial system, whether it's going to replace Visa, MasterCard, and debit cards is yet to be seen. I think it will. It's called stable coins. There's been some legislation passed that has finally set up some guidelines.
Safeguards.
Yes. So digital assets are just what they sound. They are not real in the sense that they're tangible. They're intangible. They're based upon the effective functioning of the underlying systems, the pipes, if you will, of the financial system. Today we don't really understand how our credit cards are processed. We just know that within 3 or 5 seconds, the transaction's approved and we can walk out of the restaurant and we're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time when credit cards were controversial. I can remember that time. I'm old enough. And now it's like every day, boom.
So these digital
Debit
assets,
cards.
don't think of them as radically different from necessarily the credit cards or debit cards you're using today. It's just a completely different plumbing system that we have based upon something that's called blockchain.
From a overview, what's the biggest negative about crypto or all the different
first of all,
types?
I can't value it. I'm a finance professor. I can value what Good Karma Brands is worth. I can value what Tesla's worth because these are companies that have cash flows and we can apply the concepts of valuation to it. Bitcoin, it doesn't pay a dividend. It doesn't generate any interest. There's no profits. So I have difficulty.
Because it's a currency.
It's a currency.
And that's different than like XRP, which is a company, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep up.
All right. There's a lot to this. That's
There
why,
is a lot to
That's why
it.
we're keeping you around for another segment.
Exactly.
Sure. Here's David Krause. He's from Marquette University. Smart guy on crypto and a lot more. We'll continue the conversation on Point Taken on 620 WTMJ after this.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
I give up. Where are they?
Who?
Employees.
What?
You say Hasselus Mattress Showrooms don't have any employees. Come on, bud. I know better.
I issue $2,520, but our everyday low Hasselus price is just $13.74. Free next day delivery, too.
Sure. Next you'll say I can get a free adjustable base with my purchase through Monday.
As a matter of fact, yes.
Oh, come on.
Save on Sealy Posturepedic and Beauty Rest, plus get a free adjustable base. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
You're not just a job number as a Sidex customer. They've been family-owned since 1988, and they treat you as part of their family. Upgrade and transform your current bathroom space with Sidex Windows Siding and Bath. They have seasoned design consultants with 10 to 30 years of experience. The owner, Joe, is honoring his dad's legacy with top-tier products and expert craftsmanship. It's Sidex, the best in the business. Get a free shower door upgrade when you mention WTMJ. Visit sidexremodel.com.
Get ready, Bucks fans. Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty is taking you courtside. Bucks Insiders is your inside look at player updates, game previews, and exclusive analysis with special guests all season long.
Guys are like having fun, like there's a real energy.
Powered by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Tune in every Thursday at 12:35, only on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Get these headphones on. Welcome back to Point Taken. I'm Kristin. He's Steve. We are talking to David Krause, who is the emeritus associate professor of finance at Marquette University. Shifting gears a little bit, talking about crypto. We probably have to do a longer podcast to explain all of it. But at least when it comes to the news, one of the things we talked about yesterday was we'll call him CZ because I think that's what everyone.
Chien-Ping Zhao.
There you go. Recently pardoned by President Trump for, can you explain, because like reading it as far as what he was charged with and what he took a plea deal for, as far as basically allowing money to get funneled to some not very good people, but like how does that functionally work as far as what he was held liable for? And also what does it mean now that he has been pardoned and can just go back to, does he continue to do that?
Wow, that's a lot to unpack.
Sorry.
First of all, CZ, Chien-Ping Zhao, is the founder of Binance. Binance is the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world.
It's the exchange, not a currency.
It's an exchange.
Okay.
Now, there's also a version of blockchain that they run as well. So there's a stable coin that Binance runs. Now, back to the issue of where CZ is in trouble. People have used crypto for illicit purposes for the last 20 years, Silk Road and other events that are quite notorious. They did not employ what we consider to be sound anti-money laundering practices. They were very sloppy, and they allowed bad actors to move money around the global economy. That's not good. Okay. Now, we banned Binance from operating in the U.S. for many years. And it was just over the last year that we allowed Binance again to operate their exchange with U.S. citizens. The SEC in the prior administration did find practices that CZ engaged in to be in violation of our securities law. And they imposed penalties upon him, and President Trump just pardoned CZ from potentially 4 months of incarceration.
Okay, so if that's the criticism, I could sit here and say the traditional financial systems we have in this world have also been guilty of all those same things. And they've been caught, they've gone to jail, we've had, major crashes because of some of this stuff. So what's the difference? It's just the technology, the way you do it, right?
Right. I will say that Binance is sloppy. 2 weeks ago, stable coins, which are a version of crypto that is designed to stay at $1 and not to move, just like a money market mutual fund. Right. There was a decoupling, a depegging that occurred. That's what causes bank runs. And the price of crypto dropped dramatically over a couple-hour period on a Friday afternoon after we had all headed out for our fish fries. Turned out that Binance, their systems had failed, and they started calling in money from investors that were in the system improperly. They caught it right away, and they paid out $300 million to make these investors whole. Bottom line is, it's a sloppy company. Binance does not operate as efficiently as we expect financial institutions to operate.
Interesting. So, you got a follow-up question?
Yeah. So we have the FDIC for all the other stuff. Could there not be sort of a folding in or a revamped version of the FDIC towards crypto, and that sort of would pacify some of the fears that like individual investors, regular folks would have?
Good. This is turning into an NPR kind of discussion here right now.
It's just trying to keep up. Intellectually, it's like working me out.
The Genius Act was passed by Congress and signed by President Trump in July. It establishes some guardrails. It begins to statutorily define what can and cannot be done, in this case with stable coins. It's the beginning of regulations that are necessary. And the Clarity Act is another version. The House has passed it. The Senate has not yet passed it. That's trying to figure out who is going to be the police force, if you will, for crypto. Is it going to be the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, or is it going to be the Commodity Future Trading Corporation? And the Clarity Act is to provide clarity as to, where do banks get involved? Where does the FDIC get involved? Where does state and federal banking regulators, security regulators get involved?
So my question, because I always just go back, I forgot which senator it was, but they were having a congressional hearing on social media, and he was asking about Finsta, not realizing that Finsta is not actually a thing. It's a wholly different, but sometimes our lawmakers are not fully equipped to be talking about technology. Is that a fair way to put it?
That's very fair.
So as far as finding the balance to keep up with, let's say China with crypto and not regulate it so much that it stalls growth, but keeping people safe, how much confidence do you have in our current lawmakers to be crafting legislation that can keep us on the right track?
Well, let's remember, it's the job of lawmakers to pass laws.
Yeah.
It's the job of regulators and those behind the scenes who have to enact and develop the regulations and the statutes and the rules by which we play by. So think of Congress as saying, we don't want speeding to occur on our interstates. Then we leave it up to other experts to determine that 70 miles per hour is the appropriate maximum level for cars.
Okay. So again, going back, your confidence level as far as the stakeholders in place who are making the rules, are you feeling good about it? Feeling not so good about it?
Well, I think we're going to get the right people making the right decisions. We're not there yet. I mean, these laws, one is just passed and another is waiting to be passed. In the past, we used regulation by enforcement. And I'll give you a quick example. We wouldn't post speed limits. We would just say, don't speed. And if somebody in this industry went too fast, they would later get a ticket, and they go, well, there was no posted speed limit, and you didn't tell me if I was speeding. At least now we're beginning to develop rules and regulations, where the boundaries will be.
All right. Anything else, Steve?
That's it. I feel like I learned something.
I feel like I learned something, too.
Yeah,
we'll have to have David Krause back to continue keeping us up to date on all things crypto. As always, thank you so much for being with us, David.
Thank you. Always good to be here.
We'll be back with more after this.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You ever wonder how your house would look if it were a different color, or had a new roof, or maybe a splashy front door? Well, you can see for yourself just by going to TriCountyContractingWI.com. Add a photo of your house and design a new look. Then call them when you're ready. TriCountyContractingWI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. TriCountyContractingWI.com.
They saved over $50,000 after we sold their home at only 1.9%. You don't have to pay 6% to market and sell your home. Hundreds of Century 21 Benefit Realty clients will attest. You can get it all for only 1.9%. The more value your home has, the more important it is to find the best real estate commission and the marketing ability to get top dollar. And with Century 21 behind us, that's what we have. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. Half a century of marketing expertise joined with over 20 years of local market knowledge. Not to mention the savings you'll see after you get our best commission right up front, which, by the way, is only 1.9% on the listing side of your home. Join that together and you can be sure that you've chosen the right real estate experts who have the experience to market your home effectively and give you a commission that'll end up paying for things like new furniture. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
I've been screwing up all the chores at home.
Hey, we all make mistakes.
But darn it, my wife still isn't mad at me.
You want her to be mad?
Yeah, so I can sleep on the James sofa from Penny Mustard.
With the extra deep seats.
And ultra-high-density foam cushions.
You're messing up on purpose so you can sleep on the James sofa?
I gotta admit, it's a pretty good plan.
The James sofa, starting at $22.96 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Better versions of what people want.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Appliance Gallery and Siding Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. At 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
I always wait for that part. Kicks in.
What if I had jumped on it? Would you have been mad at me?
I would have waited. I would have been mad, but yeah, I would have got over it. I get over things. I can. I'm not a yeller for the most part, but I do get angry about things. But I think I internalize most of it.
Suppress it.
Yeah, which is probably not good for you, right?
No.
They would say that. Although I don't have a lot of stress in my life, so.
You seen Book of Mormon?
No. I mean, I know the concept.
That's a good one. There's a song in there called "Turn It Off." Just turn off those feelings.
You know, I'm a big fan of expressing my feelings. I said I cried during the Springsteen movie.
I know. Do you want to talk more about that? Did you talk about it on air yet?
I didn't. No.
Do you want to give your endorsement for the movie?
Yeah, I thought it was a masterpiece, but I'm one of the bigger Springsteen fans that you'll find, and you know, I love his music. Have loved it since I was in high school, and every day since. And I've seen him a bunch of times, a lot in the 80s and 90s, and not so much in the last few years, but I did see him when he was at Pfizer. This movie it captures the time between Born to Run and Born in the USA, and that was the darkest point of his life. So he had reached.
Why was it so dark? What was going on for him?
Well, he was still sort of centered in New Jersey, right? He had reached the pinnacle with Born to Run because Time Magazine put him on their cover. I mean, it's a masterpiece album. But he was still struggling with all the family stuff. His dad was really tough on him when he was a kid, and they explore that. So it's the darkest period of his life. Back to New Jersey, he's sort of famous, but not mega famous, because Born in the USA is when he became the boss in real terms, like worldwide. So it was struggling with his relationship with his dad, and they explore that. It's really dark. There's a scene in the movie, I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but I had to control myself because I could have sobbed. I mean, like loudly sobbed. It was super emotional. It had to do with his mom. It impacted me, and that's how I judge a movie. But I also tell you, there was like 6 people in the whole theater on a Friday. So not.
It was also Halloween, though.
It was, and that's what a lot of the people are saying.
Out. They're doing stuff for Halloween.
If you're a fan of good movie making, it's for you. If you're not a Springsteen fan, I don't know that you're going to understand because it explores the reasons why he made the album Nebraska, which is very dark, more of a folk album. I mean, it was based on him reading the story of Charlie Starkweather, the mass murderer in Nebraska. I mean, that's sort of where it came from, but he was at a super dark time. So I can't tell you it's a happy movie. It sort of ends well, but it's an emotional movie, and Springsteen fans will love it, absolutely love it, because it looks at all the stuff. And I know Springsteen fans that don't know the story of Nebraska. So if you care about why,
I care about good acting.
Jeremy Strong. Jeremy Allen White. They're both in the movie.
Jeremy Strong's in it, too.
Oh, my God.
I knew Jeremy Allen White is the main guy.
I'll say this, and it may not happen. They both deserve to be nominated for
Jeremy
Academy
Strong's
Awards.
good in everything that he does.
Oh, my God. He plays
that
John
method acting
Landau.
will really get you there.
He captures John Landau, who I've never met, but I've seen him a lot. All right, so my recommendation, if you love Springsteen, go see it. All right, we got local news with the big guy, John McCure. But before we get to that, the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The Senate failed to pass a clean bill aimed at reopening the government. The shutdown now 35 days long, tying the record for the longest in U.S. history. Today, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy blaming Democrats and warning some airspace may have to close next week due to the strain on air traffic controllers who are working without pay.
If you bring us to a week from today, Democrats, you will see mass chaos. You will see mass flight delays. You'll see mass cancellations, and you may see us close certain parts of the airspace because we just cannot manage it because we don't have the air traffic controllers.
Democrats say they're pushing for Republicans to negotiate expiring health care tax credits under the Affordable Care Act. Meantime, state and local governments calling on a federal judge to compel the Trump administration to fully fund SNAP benefits for November. Today, voters across the country weighing in on key state and local races, and the economy is expected to be a factor. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm John Mercure. 3 people were shot outside a bar in Milwaukee's northwest side. Happened just before midnight last night outside the Tomato Patch Bar near 35th and Villard. The victims, aged 32, 36, and 50, were all taken to local hospitals and are expected to survive. An investigation is ongoing. Downtown Milwaukee's former University Club is being converted into a 35-room luxury boutique hotel. According to a permit application, the plans include adding a restaurant, ballroom, banquet hall, and fitness area. Northwestern Mutual purchased the property last summer for $4 million. The University Club closed its downtown location 2 years ago due to surging maintenance costs and other issues. And a staple of Milwaukee's South Side will soon close its doors. Martino's Restaurant, known for their signature hot dogs, plans to close December 19th. The restaurant operated at 13th and Layton since opening on Valentine's Day, 1977. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything is in the red. The NASDAQ is off 359. That's 1.5%. The Dow is down 213, almost 0.5%. The S&P 500 is off 61 points. That is almost 1%. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's look at those roads. Pretty quiet. I-41 northbound. Way up in Winnebago County, the right shoulder is blocked due to a disabled vehicle. More in the metro area here. It is pretty quiet. Shoulder issue near Moreland Road in Brookfield. That's about it. How about your WTMJ 5-day forecast? Today, mild, a high of 60. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low of 48. Tomorrow, sunny, a high of 55. Thursday, partly cloudy. Afternoon rain on Thursday is possible, a high of 54. Morning rain on Friday is possible, a high of 57. Saturday, chance for showers, a high of 46 degrees. Right now in Madison, mostly sunny and 57 degrees. In Green Bay, a little more cloud cover and 48. Here in Milwaukee, partly sunny, 51 degrees. I'm John Mercure, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:33.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Hey, if you love true, authentic Mexican food, I highly recommend you stop at the Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford today. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The Mine Shaft is the most affordable, family-friendly dining restaurant, and the Tuesday all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet is just $9.99. Whoa, that's incredible. Desserts are buy one, get one free. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. Today from the kids' menu, they'll love that huge game room quietly set aside from the dining area wherever you live. It's worth the drive to the Mine Shaft today for the all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet, just $9.99. Excelente. Wednesday, the all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry is $7.99. That's a crazy low price. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford, just off Highway 41 near the EAA in Oshkosh. 2 locations, both fantastic. No need to cook today. Just walk in, relax, and enjoy the all-you-can-eat Tuesday Mexican buffet for under $10. Check it out, MineshaftRestaurant.com.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey. He is Steve Scaffidi. And it was earlier, I forgot what we were talking about, but someone on the text line, so thank you whoever you were, told us that Trey Crowder, who is a comedian, was going to be in Milwaukee on November 7th at Turner's Hall. And I have followed Trey Crowder for a long time. He is referred to as the liberal redneck. Mm-hmm. He has a podcast called Well Read, and there's a lot of play on words as far as he is from rural Tennessee.
He sounds like it.
But has very liberal politics and has been a very successful comedian. And so we wanted a chance to, we reached out to him. I just DM'd him. We were talking about DMs yesterday with Mary Spacuzza. I just DM'd him and was like, hey, you're coming to Wisconsin. Can we interview to talk about politics and comedy? And he said yes. So this is a long interview. We're going to play the first half, take a break, and come back and play the second half. So this is Trey Crowder, also known as the liberal redneck. Welcome to the show, Trey.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. Have you been to Wisconsin before, or will this be your first time here?
Yeah, no, I've definitely been there. I'm trying to think the last time. Well, I mean, the last time I was there was Appleton. There's a comedy club in Appleton called Skyline Comedy Club. I was there about 1 year ago, I think, and that was the last time I was in Wisconsin. But I've been touring for almost 10 years, and I've done shows in both Milwaukee and Madison before, too, along the way. But it's probably been 3-ish years since I've been back to Milwaukee, so I'm looking forward to it.
You know, somebody who's traveled for 10 years, and you said you were all over the country doing that, as somebody, whether you're watching your show in Kentucky, Tennessee, California, Wisconsin, is there a big difference in those audiences as far as what you talk about and the jokes you tell?
I mean, no, there would be, generally speaking, you'd find a huge difference in various regions and everything, and even not just regions, but like venues and clubs specifically sometimes have their own, clientele and that type of thing. So generally it would vary wildly. But for me, and I mean, I'm not alone in this. This is true for a lot of people. Basically, if you have kind of your like a built-in audience or whatever, that you have like a following or fans or whatnot, then it's going to be your people pretty much wherever you're at. So like if I'm in Alabama, it's still people who are fans of mine, which mean like they know what I'm about and they're not going to be put off by it, whereas if I just went up in front of a general Alabama audience, it still wouldn't be 100%, running me out of the building, but I'd be rolling the dice a lot more for sure. So it just kind of depends.
What came first for you, the comedy or the politics piece of that comedy?
I started doing stand-up comedy in 2010, and I definitely would not have considered myself a political comedian, but I always, from the very beginning, I wanted to talk about, like real stuff, real issues or things that matter, whatever. Like all my favorite comedy. So as long as I've been engaged politically at all or not, even before I knew that that's what it was, I've been like at least left leaning. I didn't grow up in church. I've got a gay uncle, all this stuff. So I was like different in my rural Tennessee town, even before I understood the political dynamics of this country or whatever. But I also, I've wanted to do comedy since I was 12. So both things have kind of always been there. When I first started comedy, I wasn't like focusing on politics, but I was always talking about things that I knew had the potential to upset people in East Tennessee or whatever, because I wanted to, push buttons and envelopes and all those other things that you can push. But all my favorite comedians were, the ones that like talked about, real things that have affected people and not just like everyday minutia. I mean, some of those comics are great too, but George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Chris Rock, all the early Dave Chappelle, all those guys were always my favorite. So from the very beginning, I wanted to try to go down that road. So they've, I guess, always kind of coexisted for me.
So, because I struggle with this, not that I'm a stand-up comedian, but as someone who appreciates humor, who has done stand-up, does stuff on social media, like, how do you balance finding the joke and making a point? And does it change if you're on stage doing your set versus the videos you do in your car that, are received very well online, but is like, what's more important to you sometimes, or does it just depend on the day?
Well, it depends on the day and also the method, which you kind of hit on. Like, so when I'm on stage, the joke, the funny part is infinitely more important.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, I started as a comedian. It's a comedy show. Like, I want people to be laughing. So that's, and also I would just say that my stand-up shows, because I said I always want to talk about like real things and things that mattered or had some heft to it or whatever, and not just like, shampoo being weird and that type of thing. But like, but I don't, at my show, I do an hour, and it's not plenty of it. I've got a big chunk on like wine. I live in California now, so I went to wine country, and just kind of making fun of like wine culture from like sort of my Southern perspective. It's not political at all. It's cultural, because it's like, it's sort of making fun of coastal elites or whatever, kind of, even though I never say those words. But so like, stuff like that I would consider to be in the ballpark, but it's definitely not like my videos, which are just like, ripping into whatever stupid thing MAGA or the Trump administration or Pete Hegseth or whatever has done this week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in the videos, it depends on the subject matter, because the videos are kind of dictated by the news cycle, sort of. And sometimes with certain things, it feels like it would be inappropriate to even try to be too fun. A lot of horrible stuff happens in this country, and you don't want to even try to be funny about some of it. And then other things like Pete Hegseth's big military address recently, it was just like, I just teed off on that. You know what I mean? Like, there was no real, like, that was just me just doing insult comedy in his direction the whole time, basically, just purely making fun of him and not worrying about it. So for the videos, it kind of depends on the subject matter. For the stage stuff, it's comedy first, for sure.
Got it.
So I had a chance to see Bill Maher at the MGM in Vegas earlier this year, and he went after both sides. But one of the reactions that I noticed from sitting like in the middle of the crowd was a couple of Trump supporters who had the red hats on and wore it to the show. They were disgusted because he attacked. First, he went after Donald Trump. If they would have waited 2 more minutes, he blew up the other side. It's like that mixed audience has to be like just a lifesaver for comedians. You can just blow everybody up if you want to.
Yeah. But those people you're talking about, did they realize that? Like, did they get mad at the Trump part and then stay mad?
No.
Or did they appear to be like, oh, it's cool then?
No, they got up and left, which is, if they were stuck around for 2 more minutes, they would have seen the other side get blasted.
Yes. See, that's what kills me about the whole thing today from a comedian's perspective is like, I genuinely think that's one of the many double standards is what you just described. Because like a related anecdote, a good friend of mine who's a comedian, he's from a very small town in Georgia, and his dad's a preacher, a very MAGA like preacher down there. And this guy tours with me sometimes, and I just recently wrote a new hour because I had a special come out in like March on YouTube, and he was telling me it's the first time he had seen the hour, and he was like, dude, I was watching that, and I was thinking to myself, he's like, my dad would love like 90% of this, right? He's like, but the other 10% though, or whatever. And to me, I was like, yeah, if I watch a movie that I think 90% of it is great, then my overall review of that movie is it's pretty damn good. Yeah. Like it's almost all the way good. Like sure, there was a couple parts I thought were weird or whatever, but overall I really liked it. But I feel like people on the right at this point in time in this country they don't abide by those rules. Like it's got to be all or nothing. Like you can try to be as even-handed as you want to, and they'll love every other part of it. But the moment you say one thing, that, is pointed in their direction, that's it. It like taints the whole thing for them. And I just think that's ridiculous and unfair and is not how, anything should work. But that's where we're at.
Do you feel like it's not, you don't experience that with the left? Because I feel like the left often online eats their own and just like the purity tests and stuff like that. So do you feel like you get that at all from the other side?
Yeah, no, there's definitely faction. The left is way more diverse, obviously, and there's a lot more factions on the left generally in America. And yeah, there is at least a faction of the left that's easily as bad about that type of thing. That's where the whole idea of cancel culture and all that came from. But I don't think that it's also, this is also colored by the fact that a lot of my fans, I'm 39, and a lot of my fans, I don't have a lot of like college kid liberals or whatever. Most of my fans are like my age or older. And I find that older people on the left are usually pretty more laid back about that type of thing, in my experience. That's not, as an elder millennial lefty, I've never been like that. And but I know a lot of the youngins are. So when I say it's like, yeah, we don't do that, I guess I mean more specifically my type of people on the left, I feel like don't do that as much. But I mean, you're right, it definitely does also exist.
That's the first half of our conversation with Trey Crowder. When we come back after this, we will play the rest of our conversation with him on Point Taken.
All types of injury lawyers advertise. Cartoon lawyers, bobblehead lawyers, and folks chasing ambulances with text messages. Our clients don't want or need such lawyers. Our clients know, like, and trust that Pasternak and Zergabel will help in their time of need. I'm Frank Pasternak of Pasternak and Zergabel. Jeff Zergabel and I are excellent personal injury lawyers in our community. If you need help after an injury, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max from What's on Tap. Join me at Taste of Botanas at the original Botanas restaurant for a night of fun on Thursday, November 20th, 6 till 7 p.m. Enjoy a guided tequila tasting, margarita samples, appetizers, hors d'oeuvres, and tacos, all for $30. Try 4 exclusive tequilas and learn about the different types and best food pairings. This is a Max experience you won't want to miss. Taste of Botanas is a one-night-only event on Thursday, November 20th, 6 till 7 p.m. The original Botanas restaurant on 5th Street, Mi Casa es Su Casa at Botanas.
Follow the Yellow Brick Road to the Bradley Symphony Center November 7th through the 9th as the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra presents The Wizard of Oz in concert, film with orchestra. Experience the Emerald City as never before when David Glover leads the MSO in Herbert Stothard's beloved score as the classic 1939 film is projected on the big screen. Enjoy the spectacular, tuneful journey of Dorothy, Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion as they evade the Wicked Witch of the West in hopes of enlisting the aid of Oz the Great and Powerful to get Dorothy back home to Kansas. And her little dog, too. With unforgettable melodies such as Somewhere Over the Rainbow and If I Only Had a Brain, this is family entertainment at its finest. The Wizard of Oz in concert runs November 7th through the 9th only, so visit mso.org for tickets and more information, or call the box office now at 414-291-7605.
You don't need a massive walk-in to have a beautiful, organized closet.
Tired of wasted space? Or that pile of shoes that's always hiding behind your closet door?
Abracadabra!
Inspired Closets is the expert at doubling or even tripling your storage space instantly.
It's like magic, but better, because it's custom designed for you.
We make it easy and affordable and transform your space regardless of its size or scope.
Get started today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
When your car or truck needs service, you should take it to a specialist. I'm Deb Cruz, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Mega Milwaukee. Adam member new car dealers have factory warranted parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians. Plus, their prices are low or lower than independent shops, even on routine things like oil changes and tire service. Knowing all that, why would you ever consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
All right, welcome back to Point Taken. This is the second part of our conversation with comedian Trey Crowder, who will be at Turner's Hall November 7th.
Obvious question, but does Trump make it like too easy to just blow all that nonsense up? I mean, every day there's some new crazy thing he's saying or writing about on Truth Social.
I mean, honestly, it's kind of the opposite at this point when you're talking about Trump specifically, for a couple of reasons. One is just we've been subjected to his, hellscape for so long now that you feel like pretty much everything has been said about him, multiple times at this point. Like, it's hard to think of, like, what's a new take on Trump or what's going on with Trump or whatever. But then also the whole idea of, like, when people say that, like, satire is dead and, it's hard to – he's a parody of himself. So it's hard to be more, to escalate beyond the reality of the situation for comedic effect where Trump is concerned. So, like, I feel like for those two reasons, it almost kind of makes it – harder, but that's just with him specifically. There's plenty of things, like I said, to bring him back up, like Pete Hegseth is like super easy, whenever he does something. So, like, there's some of that. It's just Trump specifically has been in the middle of the bullseye for so many people for so long. It's kind of hard to find a new way in sometimes.
So, like I said, in 2025, we've seen The Late Show get canceled. We saw the suspension and Jimmy Kimmel get brought back. We're hearing stories of people's phones when they leave the country and come back and their social media be looked at. Are you feeling that at all as far as any kind of crackdown on comedy in this administration?
Not me, not yet. And I think that's because of where I'm at on the totem pole. I think I'm not literally the first thing I tweeted after it became clear that Trump was going to win re-election on election night in November. The first tweet I had was something to the effect of, well, I can promise y'all this, I'm going to keep running my mouth until they throw me in the gulag. You can believe that or whatever. So it's like, it's been on my mind the whole time. And yeah, a lot of that stuff is like alarming, but they definitely got bigger fish to fry than me, at least right now. That's not me like discounting it. You just asked me like if I had felt it, and no, it has not personally affected me yet, but I mean it's definitely something that I'm concerned about and I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that we could get there. We're certainly trending in that direction, which is very alarming.
All right. Well, you've given us a lot of time. I'll end with this. Is there any specific Wisconsin joke that you're working on to open with when you get here next week?
Oh man, well, I don't want to. I have one that I have a kind of go-to Wisconsin joke that I think is pretty funny, but I honestly I don't want to say it on here in case people come to the show. But also, I will. I know it's only that's next weekend. Yeah, I try to come up with at least some regionally specific stuff everywhere I go, so I will at least attempt that. I haven't really gotten to it yet. We're about 8-9 days out from the show yet, so I haven't really thought about it. But like I said, I've got one or two in my back pocket that I'll probably pull out, but I'll at least attempt to come up with some more between now and then. But I don't have them right now.
Usually they lean on the cheese thing, but hopefully you got
cheese
something more
packers. We got some good tropes you can lean into.
Yeah, well, one thing, this isn't like a joke or whatever. This is you asked if I'd been there before. The first time I ever went to Madison, I'm not making this up. The first time I'd ever been to Madison at all, we got there. Me and the guys I was touring with got there, and the first thing we did was go to like a restaurant to get something to eat and sat down. And I had not been sitting there for 10 minutes or in the city of Madison for 10 minutes before this lady walked up and gave me a bag of cheese curds as a gift because she knew I was a fan of mine and just saw me. And that's the traditional Wisconsin, greeting, I guess, or whatever. But like I wasn't there for 10 minutes before I got my first bag of cheese from a local. So I find that it's founded in truth, based in truth. So
it certainly is. Fan. All right. Well, that was fun. I mean, like I said, I've been a fan of Trey Crowder for a long time. He's going to be at Turner's Hall. I think tickets are still on sale for November 7th. And then he's in Madison for people who are closer to Madison at the Barrymore Theater on November 8th. So also, he was obviously very liberal.
Yes.
And if you have conservative comedians that you like, let us know in the talk and text line, 855-616-1620, so we can try to go interview them, too. I'll slide into their DMs.
And I'm the guy who interviewed on my old show, Dennis Miller, Chelsea Handler, so both sides of the political aisle. Yeah. So I've done that before. But we welcome your suggestions. Great show today. Great guests.
Show. Yeah, we'll be back and do it again tomorrow.
That's what they tell me. Yeah.
All right.
News is next.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
State of Wisconsin joining a lawsuit against the Trump administration urging emergency funds to be used to support the federal food assistance program.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather every weekday from noon until 3 p.m.
Preventing foreign adversaries like China and Russia from targeting the Badger State. That's the goal of Safeguard Wisconsin.
Only on WTMJ.
Hey, does this sound like you? Every step, every reach, every turn of a doorknob causes you pain. For me, it was tennis elbow. I had, the elbow strain from lifting something I shouldn't have lifted, and you can talk to my wife about that. But if you don't want to live with that kind of pain, and by the way, this is WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi here, do something about it. I went to QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli and her team, outstanding. They are awesome at what they do, and how this works. Use your body's own natural healing factors. And it repairs damaged tissue, reduces inflammation, which is what I had, and relieves pain at its source. It's not science fiction. It's not anything like that. It's your body's own comeback story powered by the very cells that built you in the first place. No surgery, no pain pills, none of this long recovery stuff. I had 3 months of treatments, and now I'm back to normal. That's the freedom that QC Kinetics helps people rediscover every day.